We doing this. I'm super excited to be on Facebook Live. This should be the first of many, hopefully. Um, Thank y'all for joining me today on Facebook. My name is Jesse Becerra. You've never met me before, but you will in these next 20 minutes. You'll hear a little bit about what Treehouse has, been throwing throughout the summer to keep these students engaged, and a little bit more about our partnerships. And so I, of course, am a staff at Treehouse. My title is Academic Career Volunteer Coordinator. I actually, fun fact, had been at Treehouse about 3 weeks before the pandemic, so in February, and it's been a very crazy, wild ride. And with me today, I have the very much honor, the pleasure of just honestly becoming a friend with this man. Through all these after-hour calls, you joking back and forth and throwing some spaghetti on the wall with our ideas. Um, his name is Rob Hernandez, Key Private Bank Wealth Liaison, Treehouse Ambassador Board Member, KeyBank Young Professionals President, and Philanthropic Director. A mouthful. And so, with that being said, he is one of our, no pun intended, key partners in making the summer experiences happen. And so, we're again going to talk about our 9-part summer experiences series that was built around sharing life skills, a little bit of different career and educational pathways. And then, of course, feel free to put any questions that you have of me, Rob, or even just anything really. Load up that comment section, that chat box. Um, we would love to hear anything from you. And so I'll kick it over to you, Rob. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, I'm with Key Private Bank. Have been a member of the Young Professionals going on 3 years now, and a tab member. This actually come up my first year anniversary. So the collaboration between the 3 different groups has been phenomenal, and has really opened my eyes to all the great things that Treehouse does, and really it just motivated me to want to partner even more with the organization. As far as my engagement, really just doing all that I can to support the youth, especially during times of with COVID and reduced funds, limited ability to meet in person, and realizing the impact that it has on young people and young adults, and what can we do to make a difference. And so truly that's what's really brought me to Treehouse, and really has gotten me really passionate about making a difference in the community that I call home, and making that investment for the future generations to come. So yeah, definitely excited today to talk about the summer experience series. I had the opportunity to not only participate, but also sit in on other series, and just be able to hear the engagement from the students, and all the different components that were brought together to really kind of prepare young adults for that next step. And so it was fascinating, as this is my first experience with the summer experience, especially being virtual, to truly get an understanding of what it is that we do. So yeah.
Perfect. And so before we even, dive into some of our experiences with the summer experience and a little bit of the why, let's talk about really what it is, right? Treehouse, having served students, from middle school all the way into post-secondary education, there's a wide array of, different knowledges and experiences of kind of that world that's out there, whether it be life skills, whether it be these career options. And so really what this is, and when I first came to Treehouse, into the community engagement team, is that I have come from a workforce development counsel from Pierce County. I'm a Tacoma boy, or a Tacomie as they say. And so with that being said, one of the beautiful things about what this event is, it's 9 different sessions. These sessions have different missions, different information, to really give students, I would say, some exposure to things that they might not necessarily have known is out there, let alone how to use it. And so, with that being said, these summer experiences were planned around kind of these 3 pillars of career, post-secondary education, because we definitely do not want to box in students into this, only college is the only way, right? We also want to get them into different types of trainings, different other valuable and viable options that they could actually utilize, being in Treehouse, being, open to all of these different scholarships, resources, and just other beautiful things that the state really helps provide. And then with that last part being life skills. So it's more of these 9 events stemming from the concept of you don't know what you don't really know. Um, with that being said, we do try our best asking from our education specialists and from our students really what they are curious about, what they want to learn, as well as um, things that they just probably and most likely do not know. With these series, it boils down to, and I kind of crunched the numbers too. We had engagement from about 30 plus different community engagement partners all across the state, which I think is phenomenal. I think it's very awesome to get that wide a range of representation, whether it be, Rob Hernandez killing it in the finance industry and sector, or whether it be one of our really awesome partnerships with, McKinstry or Avista, in which they had really brought kind of this aspect of apprenticeships and different non-traditional routes to really fulfilling and high-paying jobs. Um, some of these events really touched on, or I guess more so, I'm just going to flat out list the events. So we had 2 different college ones. We had an apprenticeship one. We had sorry about that. We had kind of this real talk with some of our alumni that have actually graduated from the traditional graduation success program and have gone into college for this kind of real talk, an entrepreneurship event, this real career exposure where we're trying to invite different uh, professionals, representatives from different sectors, as well as in kind of the life skillsy arena of financial literacy and renting 101. How could they be, how could they make the best decisions? So really, with that being said, what we tried to do was, give a little bit of empowerment to the students on, um, just saying that there are different options out there. Not everyone fits into this type of box, and it's really your place to choose where you want to go and how you want to do it. And most importantly, here are these resources that we could, give to you and set you off into the world. And so I do want to pass that over to Rob, as though, or in addition to really being, key partner and a sponsor of these events, I'm also wondering, what your experience was. You had been an actual presenter in one of the events, and so I'm wondering what you can tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Truly, I was introduced to this program through just being a member of TAB. And so as we were going through the different events for the year, this was pre-COVID, so before we knew, the impact that it was going to have long term, all the different things that we were going to be doing to collaborate to increase awareness, engagement, and support within our organizations. And so when we entered COVID, we had to really be innovative in how we reach out to our students and how to get them engaged and get them excited on topics that truly can impact the rest of their lives and determine, what path they take. And one of the things, when it was brought to my attention that, they were looking for support, or Treehouse was looking for support with, some of our largest fundraising events having to be postponed and canceled, because we provide so many services, trying to find out, what can we do to assist. And so I took that upon myself as a commitment to do everything in my power to do what I could to make this event happen. And like I said, it was thinking outside the box, collaboration, and going through the process. And what it really attracted to me, I heard historically, from different partners, different people I've collaborated with on students leaving, maybe it's, high school and not really have a full understanding of, the financial responsibilities and the things that go into transitioning from, whether it's going from foster care to college, or, moving out to their apartment or a new job, like all these things that, are built up into that. And for people to be successful, for all students to be successful, you have to have the resources and the education to help guide you and to help deter you from certain paths that could, really cause you more grief than anything. And so I truly saw that as an investment and a way to impact so many people at a level of, so many different topics, that we're providing them with the tools to set them up for success. And like I mentioned before, the children within the organization, your children in general, the next generation, they're our future. And if we're not investing in them, which I truly feel is one of the best investments, where do we see ourselves in 30, 40 years? How can we see progress? How can we see change? And how can we make a difference in the goals and objectives and the mission of Treehouse? And so that's really what kind of attracted me to really put my full support behind this event. And yeah, like I said, it was eye-opening, and it was definitely a lot of aha moments. So there were certain things that, there's always that fear, when, going into any type of meeting or seminar, that, what's the participation going to look like? What's the engagement going to look like? And it was so refreshing to have students that were, that had signed up for this, 9-series course, how engaged they were and the questions they were asking. And it was refreshing because there's a lot of students that aren't even thinking about that. And it's like, when we see those activities, it just reinforces that we're making a difference, and that we're showing through the different resources and training and collaboration that students are interested in hearing how to be successful, to get to that next level. How, hearing from different engagements of the series that I taught on financial strength and education, was their goals and aspirations. So whether it's going to college to become an attorney or something that they're going to be able to spread on uh, the resources and the support that they got to be able to impact other students. And so it's great to see that they see that it's important to pay it forward. You know, they had the opportunity to connect with Treehouse, which is an amazing organization that provides amazing support and helps so many students. And when you can make that impression to influence someone to want to make a difference as well, that's even that's above and beyond. Like that's just phenomenal, and that shows that we are making a difference in students' lives and young adults and the future. Um, so I'd be curious, Jesse, to kind of see. You know, I had a lot of aha moments. Um, what would you consider, you know, from your involvement with all the different series, kind of the things that kind of maybe stood out to you um, as things that we may not have even thought of?
Yeah, well, I definitely do really want to highlight that moment that you had specifically in the financial literacy event, in which one of the students, had asked, uh, what's even the point of having a credit card, right? What's the point of even having debt? Sounds very scary. And then that's where that switch just kind of went off. I saw you slowly grin and then just kind of, go in for for that aha, that learning moment, that pivoting point in my perspective, where you're saying, yeah, I understand that it is a little scary, especially when you don't know too much about it. But don't think of credit as really something to be scared of. Think of it as a passport or a key to open these doors throughout life, whether it be through, you know, different, and this is referring to, your credit score, but taking on different loans, one day buying a house, having low car payments, and even heck, employment. So that was really amazing that you just kind of, turned that whole event kind of on its head when that uh, question was asked. I think one of my favorite parts and one of my aha moments, I already kind of knew it going in because it's just, um, for example, the apprenticeship one, it had probably the most attendance from our students. In addition to it probably had the least known about it going in. Um, I think it really expanded a lot of horizons for students, in which we had invited a really cool organization that works with women in, you know, career apprenticeship skills and fields. And so it's really cool to have two speakers, both women, both just awesome, really talking about apprenticeships, and saying that, it's male dominated, but, we're in there, we're doing our thing. And more importantly, this is super attainable. It's people can do this, people don't know how. Apprenticeship, trade, uh, jobs, positions, careers are really, there's a skills gap. So with that being said, a lot of people really are hankering for people to get in there. Um, I think it's really awesome for a student to go in saying, I'm not really interested. And then, their eyes kind of lighting up when, they're hearing, oh, well, here's a different option from going to college. College year zero, year one, you're already taking on debt. 4 years later, you're in debt. Whereas, an apprenticeship, you might have to do a pre-apprenticeship, unpaid, it is what it is. And you take that on for a couple of weeks or months, and then you get accepted into apprenticeship, and then that's really when your time starts. It might be, a hard pathway to go to, But anything worth doing in life, really, it has to have its challenges. Every part, every career I find has to have some type of apprenticeship phase, right? This kind of, proving yourself, showing you could show up. And so, really, with those students going in there and hearing that year zero, year one of the apprenticeship, they're already earning. In fact, they're probably earning a lot more than recent graduates from college. And I think that's just super awesome that, a couple students are like, yes, I don't feel, too bad that I'm not going to college, that I can go to apprenticeship and make as much money, if not more. Especially as soon as they journey out, that's when a lot of the interest was ramping up. Hearing that you can go from 50K a year earnings to, 80 or plus $1,000 a year, especially if you own your own business too, which um, we did talk about that in one of the events as well, on what it kind of takes to own a business. What are some things that you need to think about? Um, I think it was just super rewarding. And so our Treehouse Ambassador board really just tied this whole series together. Y'all really made this happen. I wanted to kick it over back to you, Rob. Um, I wanted to ask you because you're actually a tab member, um, and we're actually recording, tab members. Can you talk a little bit more about, for maybe the people listening, how they could get involved if they wanted to? Maybe make a different impact, besides touring and besides, the store when those volunteer opportunities were to come back?
Yeah, I mean, for myself, you know, Treehouse and the KeyBank professionals have been collaborating, I think, for going on 5 years now. And myself coming into leadership in the third year, I hosted an event that was it was impressive that we were able to put it together in such a short time, but it was a very successful event that was able to raise funds for Treehouse, but also to get the word out to a lot of people on what our mission is and what are we doing for the community. And so after that, I was approached and was asked, would you like to take it to the next level and to be able to be kind of part of the effort of making a difference? And I didn't have to think about it twice. I said, absolutely, sign me up. And so, went through the process of interviewing and kind of getting my goals and like what brought me to an interest with, foster care, which I have nephews and nieces that are foster, that came through the foster care that my sister adopted. And so it kind of gave me a front seat view on some of the obstacles. So there was really a piece of my heart that was like really drawing me to that, because I know the struggles that can come with that and the obstacles. And so to join a group of like-minded professionals from different lines of business, industries, with the same mission of how can we make a difference and be a part of the organization on a different level. And to be honest with you, it's been the most fulfilling experience I've experienced so far. And one thing I can say with TAB, because you've got members of experience, like maybe it's the first year, maybe they've been there 5 years, 10 years. You've got a lot of experience and support. And also when you're looking at doing events and fundraising, it's so great to be able to collaborate and throw ideas off each other to really just be strategic in how we utilize our resources and our time and be most effective for Treehouse. And so my encouragement and my advice that I would give to anyone that's interested in becoming more involved in the community and is interested in TAB, regardless of your experience with serving on any type of board, even if it's none, the support that you have within the TAB, the ambassador board, is phenomenal. It almost feels like family. They're to support you, to lift you up, and to help you grow. And that's one of the things, the first things that stood out after doing a couple of meetings, is that everyone's there to help each other. And that's what we're here all about, because if we're not in it together, we can't accomplish our full potential as a board or as a team to make the impact the greatest as it is. So truly, that's why I joined TAB. And like I said, I would encourage any person that's looking to check us out. I'd be more than happy to give my experience, one off. And I'm sure there's others on the committee as well, just to kind of give you, an idea of what we do and the impact that we make. I did want to throw in there, I know that we've had the opportunity for people to ask questions. So just wanted to make sure that we give people the opportunity to, if there's any questions that they have for either myself or Jesse, that we can answer that. Okay, so it looks like, do you want to take a look at the question?
I could just read it off for us. Question on Facebook from Shaughnessy Jones. How important is representation to myself and you in our work, and particularly working with youth, ensuring there are adults who represent diversity through ethnicity, gender identity, sexuality, you name it?
For me, as leading the young professionals, that is one of our core pillars, is community engagement, invest in the community. And it kind of leads up to, as young professionals, what is the station for young professionals, young adults? And so what can we do to inspire young adults to want to take that next step in, being leaders in the community and being able to make a difference in things that maybe they've experienced, and, like I said, just pay on the support that they've had. And as an organization, it's great working for, with KeyBank, Key Private Bank, that's one of their core values, supporting our local community, because this is where we live. And if the only way to make it a better place for everybody is getting involved and knowing what's taking place in the community and how we can help. And this was like a perfect example. I saw an opportunity that, wasn't sure what the outcome would be, if it was something that we could accomplish. And I saw the value and the importance and the historical benefits. And I knew it was something that we couldn't, it was a non-negotiable. Like, we had to be able to provide this resource, especially for those students that are seniors that are going into that next step. I mean, if we're not able to provide them with those critical life skills and just different skill sets and things to look for, we're truly not setting them up for success. And so that was what really got me committed. And truly, being able to represent, diversity, across the board within our community, and even expanding throughout Washington, because it's not just, the Seattle, Tacoma, this is a bigger a project that, it's great to say that we are expanding to Eastern Washington and down in, Olympia, and people are hearing our name and our brand and our image is such a positive one. And when they hear our name, they think great things, because they knew all the things that we do to support students to ensure that, our mission is ensure every child has a childhood and that they have the resources and the opportunities to fulfill their dreams and that they're set up for success. So,
Perfect. And that was so well said and well put. And with that being said, all of that, we want to really thank you all for tuning in and watching this, from wherever you are, your car, your home, your house, whatever. And so, thank you so much, Rob, for just joining us and being here. Thank you for helping, you and KeyBank helping this event as well as Treehouse function and just supporting us. A lot of representation is actually on our governance board and on our tab board from KeyBank, as well as you do help us a lot with annual grants that keep us, functioning so that we could be able to serve those high need, youth. Um, and so, um, if you want to get involved with Treehouse, I encourage that you sign up for our e-news, follow us on social media. It's not too late to purchase school supplies for youth in foster care. We really, 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 really need that. Um, and that would, of course, be from an online registry. So you don't have to, get out of your house or anything. You could do it in your jams, your pajamas, and really help start this very weird time, this very weird school year start off on the right foot by helping our youth experiencing foster care. Um, thank you so much, Rob. Thank you so much, everybody, community engagement team, our staff advisory board, everybody. It was really fun. Thank you so much.
thank you for having me, and I definitely appreciate, the involvement, the collaboration, and to everyone that is watching us today, and this is support for Treehouse. We can't thank you enough. So, yeah, thank you to everybody. I can't express enough gratitude, and just to be able to be a part of this is phenomenal. So, thank you to everybody.